Part 7, Epilogue. Chapter 61, A New Beginning. The dawn broke over the horizon, casting a golden light across the serene ocean as the Elysium drifted gently in the calm waters. Adrian and Serena stood on the deck, their faces illuminated by the soft morning sun. The trials they had faced had tested them beyond measure, but they had emerged victorious, their spirits bolstered by their shared triumphs and deepened bond. The artifact they had retrieved from the abyssal trial had proven to be more than just a key to their ultimate test. It was a symbol of their journey and the strength they had gained. Its crystalline surface shimmered with a warm, calming light, reflecting the new chapter that awaited them. As they approached the edge of the newly discovered realm, Adrian and Serena reflected on their journey. The challenges they had overcome had not only tested their abilities but had also revealed the depth of their commitment to each other and their shared goals. "We've come so far," Serena said, her voice filled with a mixture of awe and satisfaction. "The trials we faced have transformed us in ways we never imagined." Adrian nodded, a smile tugging at his lips. "Each challenge brought us closer together and made us stronger. We faced our fears and emerged from the trials with a deeper understanding of ourselves and each other." The crew of the Elysium gathered on the deck, their faces reflecting the collective relief and pride of having completed the ultimate test. The ship was anchored near a picturesque island, its shores lined with lush greenery and golden sands. It was a perfect setting for a new beginning, a place where they could rest and plan their next steps. As they disembarked onto the island, they were greeted by a sense of peace and tranquility. The island was a stark contrast to the treacherous terrain of the abyssal trial, its beauty a testament to the new era that awaited them. Adrian and Serena led the crew as they explored the island, their steps light with the promise of new opportunities. The island offered a wealth of resources and potential for exploration, and its idyllic setting provided a perfect backdrop for reflection and renewal. They established a temporary base on the island, setting up camp and organizing their supplies. The atmosphere was one of camaraderie and optimism, the trials of the past now replaced by the excitement of the future. As the day drew to a close, Adrian and Serena gathered with their crew around a campfire on the beach. The flickering flames cast a warm glow on their faces, and the sound of the ocean waves created a soothing rhythm. "This is a new beginning for all of us," Adrian said, his voice carrying a sense of resolve and hope. "The challenges we've faced have prepared us for whatever lies ahead. We've grown stronger and more united, and we're ready to embrace the future." Serena nodded, her eyes reflecting the light of the fire. "We've proven that we can overcome any obstacle when we work together. Our journey has led us to this moment, and we have the opportunity to build something new and meaningful." The crew raised their mugs in a toast, their voices filled with cheer and anticipation. The trials they had faced were behind them, and the future was filled with endless possibilities. As the stars began to emerge in the evening sky, Adrian and Serena sat side by side, their hands intertwined. The bond they had forged through their trials was unbreakable, and their shared vision for the future was clear. The island's beauty and tranquility offered a stark contrast to the challenges they had faced, and it was a symbol of the new era that awaited them. They knew that their journey was far from over, but they faced the future with a renewed sense of purpose and excitement. Together, Adrian and Serena embraced the new beginning, ready to explore uncharted territories, build new alliances, and face whatever challenges came their way. The trials had shaped them, but it was their shared commitment and unwavering resolve that would guide them into the future. As the night wore on, the campfire's glow illuminated their path forward. The adventures that lay ahead were filled with promise, and Adrian and Serena were ready to embark on the next chapter of their journey, one that would be defined by discovery, growth, and the enduring strength of their bond. Chapter 62, The Future of the Reef. The morning sun cast its first rays over the island, bathing the Elysium and its crew in a warm, golden light. The island, once a battleground of trials and challenges, now shimmered with the promise of a new beginning. Adrian and Serena stood at the edge of the beach, overlooking the crystal-clear waters of the reef that had been central to their recent trials. The artifact they had secured from the abyssal trial had not only been a key to overcoming their ultimate test but had also become a beacon of hope for the future. It was said to have the power to restore balance and harmony to the magical reef, and the crew's collective effort had been pivotal in bringing about this change. "Look at it," Serena said softly, her voice filled with a sense of wonder. "The reef is already starting to heal. The waters are clearer, and the coral seems to be coming back to life." Adrian nodded, his gaze fixed on the vibrant colors of the underwater world. "Our actions have made a difference. The reef's restoration is a testament to what we've accomplished together." As they prepared to dive into the rejuvenated waters, the crew busied themselves with tasks that would help sustain the newfound balance. They had been working to ensure that the ecosystem's recovery was supported, setting up monitoring stations and gathering data to track the progress of the reef. Adrian and Serena donned their diving gear and entered the water, their movements graceful and determined. The reef, once a place of darkness and danger, was now a breathtaking display of vibrant marine life and lush coral formations. Schools of colorful fish darted between the corals, and the once bleached coral now glowed with renewed vitality. Serena guided Adrian through the underwater landscape, pointing out the various signs of recovery. "The reef's magic has been revitalized. It's not just about restoring the beauty, it's about ensuring that the magical balance is maintained." As they explored deeper, they came across an ancient underwater temple that had been hidden for centuries. The temple, now illuminated by the reef's restored magic, was a marvel of ancient craftsmanship and enchantment. It was clear that this place held the secrets to the reef's enduring magic. "We need to understand this temple," Adrian said, his excitement palpable. "It could hold the key to ensuring that the reef remains protected and thriving." Serena agreed, and they began their examination of the temple's intricate carvings and ancient inscriptions. The symbols and runes detailed the history of the reef and its magic, as well as the roles of those who had been entrusted with its protection. Hours turned into days as Adrian and Serena worked tirelessly to uncover the temple's secrets. They discovered that the reef's magic was linked to the balance between the natural world and the magical realms. The temple's enchantments were designed to maintain this balance and protect the reef from threats. Their findings led them to create a series of protective wards and rituals that would ensure the reef's continued health and magic. The knowledge they gained allowed them to establish new protocols for the reef's guardianship, blending ancient wisdom with modern understanding. Back on the island, the crew continued their efforts to support the reef's recovery. They collaborated with local marine biologists and magical scholars to implement measures that would sustain the reef's ecosystem and magic. The project was a success, with the reef becoming a symbol of resilience and renewal. As weeks turned into months, the reef flourished like never before. The once threatened ecosystem was now a thriving hub of life and magic, and the surrounding waters were vibrant with activity. The restoration of the reef had not only healed a critical part of their world but had also brought together communities and allies dedicated to preserving its future. Adrian and Serena stood once more at the edge of the beach, gazing out at the transformed reef. The sky was clear, and the waters sparkled under the sunlight, reflecting the success of their efforts. "This is the future we hoped for," Serena said, her voice filled with satisfaction. "The reef is thriving, and our world is better for it." Adrian nodded, a smile spreading across his face. "Our actions have reshaped the future of the reef and our world. It's a reminder of the impact we can make when we work together and stay true to our mission." As they walked along the beach, the sense of accomplishment and hope was palpable. The challenges they had faced had been immense, but they had emerged stronger and more united. Their efforts had ensured that the reef and their world would continue to prosper, and they were ready to embrace whatever the future held. The future of the reef was bright, and with the foundation they had laid, it would continue to be a beacon of hope and harmony for generations to come. Adrian and Serena knew that their journey was far from over, but they faced it with confidence and a renewed sense of purpose. Together, they looked toward the horizon, ready to explore new adventures and ensure that the legacy of their efforts would endure for years to come. Chapter 63: Personal Fulfillment. The sun dipped low in the sky, painting the horizon with hues of orange and pink as Adrian and Serena sat on the sandy shores of their island sanctuary. The gentle lapping of the waves provided a soothing backdrop to their reflections, and the tranquility of the moment felt like the perfect reward for the trials they had overcome. Adrian leaned back on his elbows, his gaze fixed on the setting sun. The past months had been a whirlwind of challenges, discoveries, and triumphs. The reef was now a thriving testament to their efforts, and their world was better for it. But beyond the external successes, it was the personal fulfillment they had achieved that truly resonated with them. "I never imagined our journey would lead us here," Adrian said softly, his voice carrying a hint of nostalgia. "The trials we faced, the battles we fought, they were all part of something greater than we could have anticipated." Serena looked out at the serene waters, her eyes reflecting the changing colors of the sky. "It's been a journey of growth, not just for the reef but for us. We've learned so much about ourselves and each other." Adrian turned to her, a smile playing at his lips. "I've never felt more alive or more connected to something bigger than myself. The fulfillment I feel now is beyond anything I could have imagined." Serena nodded, her gaze meeting his with a sense of shared understanding. "We've accomplished so much together. The reef's restoration, the trials, and the relationships we've built, it's all led to this moment. I've found a sense of purpose and belonging that I never thought possible." They had spent countless hours working to restore the reef, building alliances, and facing their own fears. Each challenge had been a stepping stone to personal growth and self-discovery. Their bond had strengthened through adversity, and their shared experiences had forged a deep and meaningful connection. As the sun continued to set, the sky transformed into a canvas of stars. The first twinkling lights of the evening began to appear, and the gentle breeze carried a sense of peace and contentment. Adrian and Serena sat in companionable silence, savoring the quiet beauty of the moment. Their journey had been marked by hardship, but it had also been defined by their resilience and the fulfillment they had found in their shared purpose. "I think about everything we've been through," Serena said quietly, her voice filled with reflection. "The challenges, the sacrifices, and the victories. It's all brought us to a place where we can truly appreciate what we've achieved." Adrian reached out, taking Serena's hand in his. "It's been a journey of discovery and growth. We've faced our fears, confronted our demons, and emerged stronger. I wouldn't have wanted to share this journey with anyone else." Serena's eyes shone with emotion as she squeezed his hand. "I feel the same way. Our experiences have shaped us and given us a new perspective on what truly matters. We've found fulfillment in our journey, and it's made us who we are today." As night fell, the stars shone brightly overhead, a reminder of the vast possibilities that lay ahead. The island was a haven of peace, and the future seemed full of promise. Adrian and Serena stood up, their hearts light with a sense of accomplishment and contentment. They had achieved personal fulfillment through their trials and triumphs, and their bond had been strengthened by the journey they had shared. With a final glance at the peaceful waters and the star-filled sky, they embraced the future with hope and excitement. Their journey had been transformative, and they were ready to explore new horizons with the knowledge that they had found true fulfillment in their shared purpose and in each other. As they walked hand in hand along the beach, the night air was filled with the promise of new adventures and the certainty that their journey, though it had come to a significant milestone, was far from over. Together, they looked toward the future, ready to embrace whatever came next with the same courage and determination that had carried them through their extraordinary journey. Chapter 64. Planning New Ventures. The morning sun illuminated the island with a soft, golden glow as Adrian and Serena gathered around a large, wooden table set up in their makeshift headquarters. Maps and charts were spread out before them, detailing the uncharted territories they had yet to explore. The air was filled with a sense of excitement and possibility as they prepared for their next adventure. Adrian, leaning over the table, traced his finger along the map. "We've covered a lot of ground already, but there are still so many areas we haven't explored. I'm particularly interested in these regions here," he said, pointing to several unmarked areas on the map. "They seem to hold potential for new discoveries." Serena, seated opposite him, scanned the charts with a thoughtful expression. "We've learned so much from our recent experiences, and we have the opportunity to apply that knowledge to these new ventures." There are ancient legends about hidden realms and magical phenomena in these regions that could be worth investigating. Adrian nodded, his eyes lighting up with enthusiasm. Exactly. We can use the skills and insights we've gained to uncover these secrets and make a difference in new areas. Plus, our recent success with the reef's restoration has given us the confidence to tackle even more ambitious projects. Serena smiled, a sense of anticipation in her gaze. I've been thinking about how we can approach these new ventures. It's important that we build on the foundation we've established and ensure that our efforts are both sustainable and impactful. The planning session continued, with Adrian and Serena discussing their goals, resources, and potential challenges. They reviewed their past successes and failures, analyzing what had worked and what could be improved. Their approach was meticulous and strategic, reflecting the lessons they had learned from their previous trials. We'll need a strong team for this, Adrian said, looking up from the map. The crew of the Elysium has been incredible, but we might need to expand our team to include experts in different fields, cartographers, historians, and perhaps even magical scholars. Serena agreed. Expanding our team will give us the diverse skills and knowledge needed for these ventures. It will also allow us to build new alliances and strengthen our connections with other communities. They began drafting a plan for their new explorations, outlining the resources and preparations required. Their list included supplies, equipment, and the identification of key locations for initial exploration. They also set timelines and goals, ensuring that their efforts were organized and purposeful. As the day progressed, they took breaks to discuss their ideas with the crew and potential new allies. Their excitement was palpable, and their vision for the future was shared enthusiastically by those around them. The island buzzed with activity as preparations began in earnest. Adrian and Serena knew that their new ventures would present fresh challenges, but they were eager to face them. The promise of uncharted territories and the potential for new discoveries was invigorating. They had learned to trust in their abilities and the strength of their partnership, and they were ready to embark on this next chapter of their journey. As the sun set and the sky turned to shades of deep blue and purple, Adrian and Serena stood together on the deck of the Elysium, looking out at the horizon. The world before them was vast and full of unknown possibilities, and their hearts were filled with a sense of adventure and purpose. "This is just the beginning," Serena said, her voice filled with determination. "There's so much more out there waiting for us to discover. We've set the stage for something incredible, and I can't wait to see where it leads." Adrian smiled, his gaze fixed on the distant horizon. "We've come a long way, but the journey is far from over. Our new ventures are a chance to make an even greater impact and continue exploring the wonders of our world." With their plans in place and their spirits high, Adrian and Serena prepared to set sail once more. The uncharted territories awaited, and they were ready to embrace the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. Their journey was a testament to their courage, curiosity, and commitment, and they looked forward to the adventures that would shape their future and expand their horizons. Chapter 65: A Farewell to the Past. The island was alive with activity as preparations were underway for a grand farewell. The Elysium was anchored in the bay, its sails furled and deck cleared for the event. Adrian and Serena stood at the heart of the bustling scene, overseeing the final touches as their crew and guests prepared for the evening's gathering. The sun was beginning its descent, casting a warm, amber glow over the island. Lanterns were being hung, tables were set with an array of food and drinks, and the air was filled with a sense of celebration and bittersweet farewell. Adrian adjusted his jacket, glancing over at Serena. "I can't believe it's come to this. So much has happened, and now we're saying goodbye to a significant chapter of our lives." Serena, dressed in a flowing gown that sparkled in the fading light, smiled at him. "It feels surreal, doesn't it? The past has shaped us and brought us to where we are today. But it's time to close this chapter and move forward." The gathering began to take shape as old allies and even some former adversaries arrived. The crew of the Elysium were busy greeting and mingling with their guests, many of whom had traveled from distant lands to join the occasion. Among the guests were some of their most trusted allies, like Captain Fiona, whose ship had played a crucial role in their recent adventures, and Dr. Elias, the historian who had provided invaluable insights into the magical realms. There were also familiar faces from their past, including a few former enemies who had come to acknowledge the changes and newfound alliances. As the sun set and the first stars appeared in the sky, the festivities began. Music filled the air, and the scent of delicious food wafted through the gathering. Conversations buzzed with laughter and nostalgia as people reminisced about the trials and triumphs they had shared. Adrian and Serena took a moment to address their guests, standing on a small platform set up near the edge of the beach. The crowd quieted, turning their attention to the couple as they prepared to speak. "Thank you all for coming," Adrian began, his voice steady and filled with emotion. "This evening marks the end of a significant chapter in our lives. We've faced countless challenges, made new allies, and even confronted old enemies. Each of you has played a vital role in our journey," Serena continued, her eyes scanning the faces in the crowd. "Our adventures have been marked by moments of both great joy and profound difficulty. We've learned so much from each of you, and we're grateful for the support and camaraderie we've shared. This farewell is not just to the past but to the experiences that have shaped us." As she spoke, Adrian noticed several figures from their past approaching. Among them was Captain Marlowe, a once formidable foe who had now become a respected ally. They exchanged nods of acknowledgement, their mutual respect evident in their eyes. The evening continued with heartfelt toasts and farewells. Adrian and Serena made sure to take time with each guest, exchanging stories and sharing their gratitude. It was a night of reflection and celebration, a recognition of the journey they had all been on together. As the night wore on, the crowd began to thin, and the final farewell approached. Adrian and Serena stood alone on the beach, watching as the last of their guests departed. The stars shone brightly overhead, and the sound of the waves provided a soothing backdrop to their thoughts. "I'm going to miss this place," Serena said quietly, leaning against Adrian. "It's where we found so much of ourselves and each other." Adrian wrapped his arm around her, pulling her close. "We've come a long way, and we've made so many memories. But it's time to embrace the future and see where our next adventures take us." The island, once a symbol of their past struggles and triumphs, now stood as a testament to their growth and accomplishments. As they gazed out at the tranquil waters, they knew that while they were saying goodbye to a significant chapter, they were also opening the door to new possibilities. With a final glance at the island and the friends they had made, Adrian and Serena turned toward the Elysium. The ship was ready to set sail, and their hearts were full of hope and excitement for the journey ahead. As the ship's crew began to prepare for departure, Adrian and Serena took one last look back at the island, the place where their journey had begun, and where they had forged lasting connections. "It's time to sail into the future," Adrian said, his voice filled with resolve. Serena nodded, her eyes shining with anticipation. "To new adventures and the promise of what lies ahead." With a final farewell to the past, they set their sights on the horizon, ready to embrace the next chapter of their lives and the adventures that awaited them. The Elysium pulled away from the shore, and as they sailed into the night, the stars above seemed to illuminate the path to their future. Chapter 66. Tying Up Loose Ends. The dawn broke over the horizon, casting a serene light across the deck of the Elysium. Adrian and Serena stood at the bow of the ship, taking in the expansive view of the open sea. The time had come to prepare for the epilogue of their journey, a moment to reflect on their past and provide closure before moving on to new adventures. Adrian glanced over at Serena, a thoughtful expression on his face. "It's hard to believe that we're wrapping up this part of our journey. It feels like just yesterday we were setting out on our first adventure." Serena smiled, her eyes reflecting the early morning light. "We've come so far since then. This epilogue is a chance to tie up loose ends and reflect on everything we've accomplished." They began their preparations, starting with reviewing their past adventures and key events. They compiled their experiences into a detailed account, focusing on the major milestones and the personal growth they had experienced. It was a way to honor their journey and ensure that the story of their adventures was accurately and meaningfully documented. In their quarters, Adrian and Serena worked together to finalize their written account. They reviewed notes, sketched maps, and highlighted significant moments from their travels. Their goal was to provide a comprehensive and engaging summary of their experiences, capturing both the triumphs and the challenges they had faced. "We need to make sure we acknowledge everyone who played a part in our journey," Serena said, looking through a list of names and events. "Our allies, our enemies who became friends, and the places that have been significant to us." Adrian nodded in agreement. "Absolutely. It's important to recognize the contributions of everyone who has been a part of our story. We've built lasting relationships and learned so much from those we've encountered along the way." They also set aside time to draft personal messages and reflections. These notes would be included in the epilogue, providing a heartfelt conclusion to their journey and expressing their gratitude to those who had supported them. As the day progressed, they made preparations for a final gathering with their crew and allies. They wanted to celebrate their achievements and officially close this chapter of their lives with a sense of completion and satisfaction. In the evening, the crew assembled on the deck of the Elysium. Lanterns were lit, and a festive atmosphere filled the air as Adrian and Serena prepared to address their friends and companions. "Thank you all for joining us," Adrian began, his voice resonant with emotion. "As we prepare to close this chapter of our journey, we want to take a moment to reflect on what we've achieved together and express our deepest gratitude." Serena took over, her voice steady and warm. "Our adventures have been marked by incredible highs and challenging lows. We've grown and learned so much from each other and from the experiences we've shared. This epilogue is our way of honoring that journey and acknowledging the impact each of you has had on our lives." The crew and guests listened attentively as Adrian and Serena shared their final reflections. They spoke of their adventures, their growth, and the relationships that had shaped their path. The evening was filled with laughter, memories, and a deep sense of camaraderie. As the night drew to a close, Adrian and Serena stood together at the bow of the ship, looking out at the twinkling lights of the night sky. The final preparations for the epilogue were complete, and they felt a sense of closure and accomplishment. "This feels right," Serena said softly, her hand in Adrian's. "We've wrapped up our journey with the respect and reflection it deserves." Adrian squeezed her hand gently. "Yes, it does. We've honored our past, and now we're ready to embrace the future with everything we've learned and experienced." With a sense of peace and contentment, Adrian and Serena prepared to set sail toward new horizons. The epilogue was a testament to their incredible journey, providing closure and celebrating the remarkable story they had created together. As the Elysium moved forward into the open sea, they looked forward to the next chapter with optimism and excitement, ready to continue their adventure and explore the world beyond. Chapter 67 Reflection on Achievements. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden glow across the tranquil waters as the Elysium drifted gently through the waves. Adrian and Serena found themselves on the deck, the familiar sea breeze mingling with the quietude of their moment. With their previous chapter now complete, it was time to take stock and reflect on their achievements and the profound impact of their journey. Adrian leaned against the ship's rail, his gaze fixed on the horizon. The calm sea before them seemed almost symbolic of the peace they had achieved after their long and arduous adventures. He turned to Serena, his eyes filled with a mixture of nostalgia and pride. "Do you remember how it all started?" Adrian asked, a soft smile playing on his lips. "How we were just two people from different worlds, thrown together by fate and necessity." Serena smiled, her eyes reflecting the amber hues of the setting sun. "I remember. It feels like a lifetime ago. The challenges we faced, the growth we experienced, it all seems like a distant dream now." They walked slowly along the deck, each step echoing the quietude of their reflections. The ocean, once a daunting expanse, now seemed a vast canvas upon which they had painted their story. "We've achieved so much," Serena continued, her voice thoughtful. "Not just in terms of defeating our enemies and overcoming trials, but in the personal growth we've undergone and the connections we've forged." Adrian nodded in agreement. "Our journey has been more than just an adventure. It's been a testament to what we can achieve when we work together, when we trust each other and our abilities." They paused near the ship's helm, where the ship's wheel was a constant reminder of their steering through the storms of their past. Serena ran her fingers gently along the wheel, her expression thoughtful. Every challenge we faced, every trial we overcame, it all led us to this point, Serena said. And it's not just about what we've done but how we've done it. We've grown, learned, and become better versions of ourselves. Adrian joined her at the helm, placing his hand over hers on the wheel. And we've made a difference. The reef is flourishing, our world is at peace, and we've shown that even the darkest curses can be broken. They stood in silence for a moment, taking in the enormity of their achievements. The peaceful setting sun seemed to frame their accomplishments, casting a serene light over their reflections. It's incredible to think about how far we've come, Adrian said softly. The friends we've made, the battles we've fought, and the lives we've touched. It's all part of a bigger picture that we've contributed to. Serena nodded, her gaze drifting to the horizon. And it's just the beginning. We've laid the groundwork for a new era, one filled with hope and possibilities. Our journey has shown us that even the greatest challenges can be overcome with courage and unity. They took a deep breath, savoring the moment of tranquility. The Elysium continued its gentle journey across the sea, a symbol of their progress and achievements. The golden light of dusk cast long shadows on the deck, a fitting backdrop for their reflections. As the first stars began to twinkle in the twilight sky, Adrian and Serena embraced the profound sense of accomplishment that came with their reflections. Their journey had been one of immense trials and triumphs, but it had also been a journey of personal growth and connection. Here's to what we've achieved, Adrian said, raising an imaginary toast to the horizon. And to the future we have yet to explore. Serena smiled, her heart filled with gratitude and anticipation. To new beginnings and the adventures that await. With the evening calm and the stars emerging overhead, Adrian and Serena felt a deep sense of contentment and readiness for the next chapter of their lives. Their journey had not only transformed their world but had also reshaped their own understanding of themselves and each other. As they looked out over the tranquil sea, they knew that the reflections of their achievements would guide them forward into whatever came next. Chapter 68. A Promising Future. The evening sky was a canvas of soft pinks and deep blues, as the Elysium anchored in a serene bay. The waters below glimmered with the last light of day, creating a mirror-like surface that reflected the promise of a new beginning. Adrian and Serena stood on the deck, their hearts filled with a sense of accomplishment and anticipation. The time had come to celebrate not only the conclusion of their epic journey but also the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. The deck was adorned with lanterns and flowers, casting a warm, inviting glow that contrasted with the encroaching night. The crew and their closest allies gathered around, ready to mark this special occasion. Adrian took Serena's hand, his gaze filled with affection. It's hard to believe how far we've come. We've achieved so much and faced so many challenges together. Serena smiled, her eyes shining with happiness. It's been an incredible journey. We've grown, learned, and found something truly special in each other. The crew erupted into cheers as Adrian and Serena stepped forward to address them. The atmosphere was filled with joy and camaraderie, reflecting the deep bonds they had formed throughout their adventures. Tonight, we celebrate more than just the end of a journey, Adrian began, his voice carrying a note of excitement. We celebrate our love, our achievements, and the bright future that lies ahead. Serena nodded, her voice warm and filled with emotion. We've faced countless trials and emerged stronger for it. And now, as we stand on the brink of a new chapter, we're ready to embrace the promise of what's to come. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the lanterns illuminated the deck with a soft, golden light. The crew members began to sing, their voices blending harmoniously with the gentle lapping of the waves against the ship's hull. The celebration was a testament to the enduring spirit of adventure and the strength of the bonds they had forged. Adrian and Serena shared a dance under the stars, their movements graceful and filled with the ease of a deep, mutual understanding. The night sky above seemed to bless their union with 1,000 twinkling stars, each one a silent witness to their journey and their love. Do you think we'll ever stop exploring? Serena asked softly, her head resting against Adrian's shoulder. Adrian chuckled, his arms wrapped around her. I don't think so. There's always more to discover, more adventures waiting just beyond the horizon. And with you by my side, I wouldn't have it any other way. The night continued with stories, laughter, and a sense of unity that bound everyone together. As the celebration wound down, Adrian and Serena took a quiet moment alone at the bow of the ship, gazing out at the starlit sea. The future feels so full of possibilities, Serena said, her voice filled with wonder. It's like we're standing on the edge of a great adventure, with endless horizons before us. Adrian squeezed her hand, his heart full of hope. Yes, and whatever challenges we may face, we'll face them together. We've proven that we can overcome anything, and I know our future will be just as extraordinary as our past. As they stood together, looking out over the tranquil waters, they felt a deep sense of peace and excitement. The epilogue was not just a closing chapter, but a celebration of their journey and a glimpse into the adventures that lay ahead. With a final glance at the stars, Adrian and Serena turned back to the deck, ready to embrace their promising future. The night was filled with the promise of new beginnings, and as they looked forward to the uncharted territories that awaited, they knew their love and their spirit of adventure would guide them through whatever came next.